morning, everybody. Thanks for being here. I just want to take the time out and thank you guys for an awesome job that you're doing. You guys are doing great. This school year has gone off pretty good. We've had some new changes and stuff that I think we implemented that are doing really well with the team leads in place. And there's a lot of new people here, and our trainers have done a great job training them and getting them on the road. Welcome to all the new people that are here. Appreciate you guys. We've done very well the past 2 years. Out in the lobby, there's 3 awards that we've gotten from the county, if you want to take a look at that. And all that is to do with you guys. You guys have done an awesome job, and the company's been awarded those awards the past 2 years for not missing any routes, and with all the wheels that are turning with you guys do and all the rest of my staff and mechanics and everything, that's how we keep this going. So I just want to thank you guys again for transporting the best
Spit it out.
the precious cargo that there is, and thanks to you guys, we do it successfully and safely. So again, thanks. I'm going to turn this over to the staff, and thank you guys very much, and I applaud all y'all.
All right, Skip.
Okay, folks, see if I can get through this. A lot of you know, but we lost one of our own this past weekend. Miss Robin Acker passed, bus 510. And all I can say is, for those of you who knew her, she was the most blessed, wonderful, wonderful lady. And if I could ask all of you to maybe do me a little favor, could we let's maybe stand up and bow our heads for like a couple of seconds? Okay, thank you very, very much. Safety, and Miss Jeanette. Where's Miss Jeanette? She told me not to talk too much. So it's going to be short and sweet. We have people that, like I went to county training almost 14 years ago now. A lot of people in between that time, some just recently. And a lot of you have just been gone through the CDL training here with us. But there's been changes that, even though they say them in meetings, I sit in those meetings and I don't hear everything they're saying, and I can't expect everybody here to remember everything. So a couple things that I just want to talk about a little bit. The first, and it's a little bit different than it used to be, is the railroad crossing. And I know we don't have a lot of them in Anne Arundel County, but everybody, we still do the same thing at 100 feet. We activate, we turn our master off, activate 4 ways, and we get up within 15 to 50 feet. The old way was that we stopped, had the window open the door, left, right, left, when it's safe to do so, et cetera, et cetera. Now, it's kind of been in effect, but I don't think a lot of people might know about it. We have to put the bus in neutral and set the park brake. So, but some people, it's always been, but it really wasn't. But it's kind of cast in stone now. And so that's just a subtle little change. Another one, and this is a little bit different for the newer folks that we just trained for CDL training, is the school bus light progression. Just a little variation of it. And the difference is 10 feet from the school bus stop itself, we come to a complete stop. The old way, we put it in neutral, set the park brake, but there's a couple different things. What we do is we set the park brake and hit the reds, right? Then we put the bus in neutral. We're gonna check our mirrors, and when it's safe to do so, we open the door, greet the children, check in the student mirror when they're safely seated. We're gonna close the door, we're gonna recheck our mirrors, and then turn the reds and progress out into safety. The main thing is what we don't want to do is we never want to use the door to turn the red lights on. Some of our counties surrounding us, they do that. I don't know why, but they do that. But we never want to use the door to open the red lights. So, and if anybody has any questions, please see me, after the meeting. We'll even get out in the bus and go through it if there's any questions. It's just a matter of the safety procedure just changed and tweaked a little bit. One of the other safety items that I wanted to talk about is proper attire. And there's a list in there that says kind of what's acceptable, unacceptable, but the main thing is footwear, okay? The footwear is basically, you can't have an open-toed shoe, and you have to have something in the back of your heel. So let's say, like, if you do have Crocs, I have them, a lot of people do, they're comfortable. Make sure when we're operating the bus that the strap, and I think they call it sport mode, make sure you have the strap on. So that was one of the things that they talk about in the county meetings as well. So, Miss Jeanette, I'm done. and thank you all, and once again, referring to Robin, you know, hey, we need to all count our blessings. And there's a great group of people here, and we got a great support group, you know, and I know, you know, we're like a family. We might have a spat here and there, but there's a lot of love in this room, and I appreciate it.
Well, Skippy.
All right. So I'm going to start with the meat of our presentation here. We wanted to get the safety part out of the way. And what I'm going to talk about first has a lot to do with yard safety. Now, we had to get this meeting together, and someone from the county was supposed to be here, but I guess they forgot. So they're not here. I'm going to talk about yard safety. So back in January, I put out a memo and sent alerts out about the yard safety. And again, I said it back in the summer meeting, we do not want to sacrifice safety for timeliness. So if you're running behind, if you're thrown out there to do something already behind the ball, already late, whatever it is, you got to operate your personal vehicle and the bus in the yard safely. So some of the things that we're still seeing that need to be corrected is pulling up to the pad, picking up whatever you need, driving out to the bus, and then parking your car, all that kind of stuff. Going the wrong way down here to park and stuff like that. That it's just the whole point of us having a one-way in the yard, and then having the procedures of parking your personal vehicle in its space first and then walking, is that we're trying to limit the unexpected, someone walking and not expecting a vehicle to come the wrong way to park or to drive up to a bus and stop. All that it's really unexpected when it's not part of our procedures. So we're trying to limit that so that everybody's safe in the yard. You know, we're trying to come up with any other options to save from having to do that. But as of yet, the procedure is still, when you come in, you park the car in the parking space, walk into the office if you need to come into the office, walk to the bus. If you get dropped off by someone or picked up by somebody, that drop off and pickup can happen in front of the yard. Just don't park the car there, just drop off and keep going, or pick up and then keep going. The pickup drop off should not be occurring at your bus either, because again, that's an unexpected situation, and if the bus isn't, if the bus is trying to pull out or something like that and doesn't see the car, we just don't want accidents, and the main thing is we don't want anybody to get hurt. I said it in the memo, the only reason, based on some of the things that we've witnessed in the yard, the only reason that someone hasn't gotten hurt or there hasn't been an accident is pure luck, and it's gonna run out. And that's costly as a company, and it's costly to your personal health and safety. So we really need everybody to follow the procedures, please. Everyone got a copy of the bus yard rules and regulations. I'm not going to go through all of them, but these are just kind of basic safety rules and regulations that we kind of collected over time, and it pretty much covers everything. So it covers a lot of different things. even as far as checking in, bus maintenance and stuff like that. One of the kind of hot topics is right now is don't bring your like home trash and your bus trash into the office and throw it away in the office trash cans. Use the dumpster, please, because it's attracting ants and insects and stuff like that into the office. We're trying to just keep that as office trash. A lot of you saw, or well, yeah. So as far as yard safety, that's kind of the big stuff. 5 miles an hour in the yard, that's got to be adhered to. Speeding through the yard is unacceptable. I don't care how late you are, how late your route is. It's extremely dangerous. And if we need a class, and I'm not trying to be smart here, some people said it's hard to figure out what 5 miles an hour is or whatever. Some people said that. I mean, we can go out there and ride on the bus and show you what 5 miles an hour is. I mean, it seems very slow, and I still get every morning that I come in, and it's within a 15-minute range. I usually have somebody that's up my butt the whole time I'm pulling in to come into my parking spot. And I think everybody knows by now what truck is mine, so it's kind of surprising that even happens. So 5 miles an hour is slow, but there's a reason for it. You're good. I know. There's gonna be an accident at 5? Well, at least it'll be at 5 miles an hour instead of 15.
No, I'm not saying 15.
No, I'm just saying it's 5. It's 5. If everybody goes 5 miles an hour, there will not be an accident. Well, if you're going faster than 5, it would. I don't want to argue about it in front of everybody, but 5 miles an hour is the rule. It always has been the rule, and we're not changing it. So, so either way, 5 miles an hour in the yard. I kind of want to push on from this. So yeah, those are kind of the main things that I want to talk about as far as yard safety. I put the memo out, and so yeah, so we'd really like some improvement. Yeah, what's up?
Could you talk about bus courtesy when we park in, how to, the bus?
Yes, it's part of the list, but so when a bus is parking, don't pull behind them or in front of them, and I've heard all of them happening. So the bus is backing into a space and someone pulling behind them. That definitely is, doesn't matter how fast, yeah, if you're going 5 miles an hour, there will be an accident with that for sure still. So please just have courtesy. Again, it goes back to the only reason that you would be pulling in front or behind or whatever is because you're rushing. And when you're rushing, it's not safety conscious. Just be patient, wait in line for them to finish, and then proceed. So that's definitely an important one.
And like, about the morning when it's dark, people are walking right in front of the buses.
Right.
Buses are trying to pull out. You can't see them if they're walking right there.
Right. You should, and I thought about trying to put lines or something like that, so have like the walkways out there. But yeah, you should be kind of spaced away from the bus a little bit. That way you're not right in front of, you go right in front of the bus, it is going to be kind of a blind
Make it
spot.
mandatory wear the vest.
We could go back to that. That was not a very successful program when we did it, but we can certainly get more vests and try to get those passed out so people can use them in the yard.
Because you gotta take it and old people can.
Right.
I mean, there's a reason why it's done.
Right. I agree. So, all right. So kind of moving on to the next topics. So we're kind of out of the safety portion now. So a lot of you may have seen, drivers would have seen, we gave out like the trip tickets for the in-service meetings this past month. If we had had a meeting before that, it was kind of an idea that popped up, and it was mainly for us because that way the county said they're not playing around with doing makeup meetings because they gave so many options for in-service meetings, and they're kind of going to do that in the future. So like if you miss an in-service meeting now, it may be a lot tougher to get a makeup, and there's a good chance that they're going to decertify you until you get to the makeup, and we don't want anybody in that position. And in the past we had issues where we would say, okay, someone's kept trying to pick a safety meeting, and then we would keep booking them on a trip and not knowing that they were thinking about going to that meeting. and then they end up missing the meeting because we're booking them on something else that interfere with the meeting. So when we put in our system to assign somebody to a trip, it basically gives us a red flag if we try to assign them to something else. That's why we had everybody sign up for the meetings. We put it into the system so that if something came up as an error or a red flag, that we didn't then assign them to that trip or to that route or whatever it may be. So mainly it was internal for us to prevent us from booking you for something when you were already trying to book yourself for that meeting. The other side of that is we found it was actually a good way to track that everyone went to the meeting. So that's why after the first couple meetings, we decided, well, we'll have you just sign off on it and get it back to us so that we know that you went, then the county has the record that you went so that there's no, something crazy didn't happen. They've lost those in-service sheets multiple times. There's a handful of people that had to refill out their in-service sheet even though they turned it in. So it's just, if we have that multi-factor way, kind of like, when you log into your bank and you have to get the text message to the authentication. So it's the same thing. It's a way for us to verify that you went so that if the county says you didn't go, we're like, well, hey, they told us that they went. Can we research it? So we didn't get a chance to kind of put that out as a whole, that's something that we were going to do. So we are going to do that from now on because it did work, and everybody got to their in-service meetings, as planned. So that worked out really good for us and I think everybody in here. The team leads, I want to thank them for all the hard work they've been doing. They've been doing a great job. With that, there's another part of that. I know I had said in the summer, anyone that was here, that we would kind of be figuring out their positions as we go along. We had plans for them, but with all of them initially driving a permanent route, there were certain things like onboard evaluations and stuff like that that weren't necessarily going to be able to, they weren't going to work with their schedule at first. But now that we've started to get closer to what our plan was and having them as kind of the fill-in drivers, we are able to do that. So a lot of you have already had them ride on board to do onboards with you. I want to make sure that you understand that one, they are basically eligible and meet the requirements to do those onboard observations. Essentially, and they're designated by us to do those. So that was another thing that if we had met kind of before then, we would have told everybody that ahead of time. So I take the blame for not getting that information out there, because initially there were some questions from them too, so, and rightfully so. So they are authorized to do them. And now also another thing that's a little bit different, if anybody, it doesn't happen often, but those of you that have been involved in any kind of collision with the school bus, it used to always be you go to the county and do post-accident training. They are putting that back on us now, which I actually like, because then we're in control of it and it's not, to their whim and when they want to schedule it. So part of the team lead's responsibility is going to be when they do those onboards, if you have a post-accident training that needs to get done, we do that at the same time. Really, it's so that we can get it done easily, and it's just a process that has to be done. So I just want to let you know that the team leads are supervisors. When we put this in place, we put them as supervisors. So they are, you have to look at it that way, and they are authorized to do that. So either way, and also they're your kind of your first person to talk to when you're having issues and stuff too. So if they're having issues, it gets elevated. So we prefer that not happen on a regular basis, but if it does, then it does. Just went over those. Time and mileages, those are supposed to be getting done this week. So please make sure you get your time and mileage sheets done and back to your team leads so that we can review them and get them into the county on time. Bus attendance. So I think there's been some questions or concerns on what their responsibilities are. And back in the summer, we did give out the attendant expectation list. So, and this, To my knowledge, I kind of had thought this was a little bit above and beyond what the county required, but after talking to the county, this is also what they say that they teach at the training center. That any of the attendants that grab the packet, you have that in your packet. The main thing is, you gotta stay off your phone when the kids are on the bus. You gotta stay awake when the kids are on the bus. And you have to, you know, if you may have a part of your route that doesn't necessarily require the aid, but you're still responsible for handling aid, like the student behaviors and stuff like that, of the students that you're not necessarily on there for. According to the county, that they teach that the drivers and aides are supposed to work together as a team, and our expectation is the same. So, you know, if there's issues on the bus, you gotta address them while you're on the bus, and not just sit up in the front of the bus.
So does the driver and the aide have to sign the referral?
They do, they don't have to be signed by both, as long as they're signed by one. It really, that part doesn't matter. There's no legitimacy change based on who signs the referral. So, but yeah, they need to work together and help the driver with student behaviors and whatnot for the whole bus. Next thing is the double high schools runs. They're coming up. They're a little bit different this year than they were in past years. Past years they did like 3 days in a row, or they did a whole week in a row. They're doing kind of random days. I have it posted in the little as you know as you go in the bathroom and up on the board. But just pay attention to those days. The first one's April 17th, and I think the rest of them are in May. So just pay attention to those days. We will try to put out reminders and stuff as they come up. And basically that is for anyone who hasn't done them before. You'll run your regular route, and then 3 hours and 30 minutes after your original stop time for your high school. So let's say your first stop for the high school is at 7:30. So then at 11 o'clock, you'll start picking up your high school route again, and then drop them off at the school no sooner than 12. But 12 is kind of the target time, but they can't get dropped off before 12. So just pay attention to those days and make sure, you know, like I said, we'll try to send out alerts to remind everybody. Good.
So how do we get paid for that?
It's, everyone's got to do kind of like a separate time and mileage thing on your
Right.
time sheet, and then we log the time and mileage on a sheet and send it into the county.
But do we stay with the bus? Do we get paid for 1 hour because we have to hang around for 2 hours between?
It's the time frame in between, and it's basically 2 hours is what you get for
Yeah.
We get paid for 2 hours for the second run.
Right.
Okay.
Good question. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I have a few drivers, I believe, on my team that has things that they do when they get back off their rubber run.
Right.
So should we get some type of confirmation from those individuals so that we can know what needs to be covered?
Yeah, we know most of them, and we've
Okay.
already put them in the system
Okay.
for those days. Let your team lead know if somewhere there's gonna be a conflict with doing the double high school with your specific route. That way, if we're missing something or we don't, there's not something we know in advance, that we'll know. So, because we'll plug it into the system to get it covered. Let's see. So, moving on, it's gonna be a busy spring. We are booking a lot of extra work, and because right now we have the staff and interested people that want to do extra work. So the big thing that we always ask before spring hits is to please try to schedule all your personal appointments and stuff around your bus route. When we have all these really busy days, extra sports work, all that kind of stuff, when people are out, it definitely makes it difficult. Obviously things come up, we know that happens, but as far as like planned times off, just please try to plan things around the route if possible. Mostly everything I had to go over. Does anybody have any specific questions about stuff that I brought up?
It's about the last time fuel pump one was out of service. There was never a sign put on it, or when you guys send out those memos
Yeah,
on the
I
thing.
know, yeah,
And it was really bad. You're lucky there wasn't an accident with buses backing up,
Right.
going around
okay,
pump two, because they didn't know pump one was out.
okay.
So they would go around bus two, back up, and then they'd find out pump one was broke. Then bus two would go around, and that one would
Right.
back up, and there were buses in line, and it was really bad.
Okay, all right.
It was dangerous.
Yeah, yeah, that was our fault for not putting that out, so I apologize for that, so.
Yeah,
Well,
just
we
the-
try to be diligent about when the pump goes down that we put it out there, so.
Just that memo is
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry about that.
That's okay, I just wanted to.
Dan.
On the days of the double run,
Yes,
I don't run well, I did a few hours
since you don't have it.
a double run.
I don't know, some of those specific ones we gotta just look at. Oh, since you don't have a high school. If you cover a high school, you would get whatever goes, whatever it would be, whatever anybody else would get. But if you're not covering a high school, then there's nothing. If you don't have a high school, you don't have to do a high school run, double high school. And there's some high schools that run special programs that do not have to do the double high school run. So yeah. You had something?
Mike, so you talked about, some walkways. Have you thought about, like a crosswalk, particularly this corner, and I know others have brought it up probably.
Yeah.
Seems to be very vulnerable, and, one thing I wanted to mention, I'm not a safety expert, but, sorry, my brother's nicknamed the Ocean, but, is, I learned that with heavy machinery, same with, I guess it's buses, is, make sure the driver's always, like, if you're gonna cross, I was taught that they
Make eye-
acknowledge, because there's blind spots. So.
Right, making eye contact. Yeah, it's a good idea. Definitely. So, yeah, we've thought about trying to do some sort of walkways and stuff like that. So.
Or a stop sign.
Yeah.
If you need signage, I know a company who's doing it pretty cheap.
Okay. All
I
right.
used to work with them, so I know.
I appreciate it. So yeah, that pretty much, that's my section that I'm going to talk about. Dee's going to come up next and talk about some kind of operational things. But just make sure, look over that bus yard rules and regulations, go through that whole list. Most of it's common knowledge, but we just want to make sure everyone's aware of our expectations, especially in regards to safety. That's we've got to be careful with safety. So. Oh. There is.
We're gonna get to that.
That's coming
We're
up.
gonna get to that, yeah.
All right. All right, good.
Good morning, everyone. I know it's too nice to be in here. The weather's getting nicer. Yeah. I wanted to thank the team leads again for the wonderful job that they do every day and being our extra ears with and be someone that you all can go to so that you are heard. And we want to thank you all, like they said, for the wonderful job that you all do every day. Even though sometimes it can be a challenge, we know. On your repair sheets, on the bottom, please make sure if you have an issue with your bus, not only to tell someone in the office, but also to write it on the bottom. That way it can get to the mechanics, and Kent gets them every afternoon, and by the next day, he has the guys fixing your issues. Summer worksheets. If you want extra work, you received a worksheet for your last paycheck, I believe. Please make sure you fill those out and get them to Greg. Greg's working on getting a lot of summer work for anybody interested in working the summer. Keep us all busy. County inspection days. 15th and 16th of April, we're having county inspection. On those 2 days, the fuel pumps will be turned off during inspection. Can't get fuel during the inspection, and I think it's like from 8 to, they normally leave here about 12:30. Park your buses in your assigned spots, turn the bus off, leave the key on the bus. We have all of our team leads that will be driving the buses through on inspection day.
We'll contact someone with that specifically. Leave the key in the ignition, please. Don't put it in the glove box or on the top so that they're not searching for it.
Yes. And make sure, please make sure your buses are swept and the trash is empty and that there's nothing in the driver's area, including in the dash. If you have any seats, yes, Miss Sony?
Don't run the 15th to 16th, if you got a trip and you need to gas up during that time frame, how is that going to work?
Do it the night before, the afternoon before. And we're gonna, hopefully, we're gonna get it to where not the same buses on the trip on the same days, but I know that sometimes gets hard because DC, we have to get permits, and, yeah, but just fuel up the night before if you have a trip. We already- Oh, yes, thank you, Demetria. If you have holes or damaged seats, please write those up so that the team leads can get those repaired before inspection. Even if it's just one, little one, they will find it. Along your routes, please do not add extra stops that aren't already on your Foursquare or already on your sheet. Like, you know the bus stop is here and Janie lives 5 houses down and you're going by her house anyway, so you just drop her off. Please do not do that. Because if there's a sub driver, that driver's not gonna know. And they're gonna just go right on by Janie's house and she's still gonna be on the bus.
That's a liability issue as well. So if you drop somebody off at an unauthorized stop, it's not on the list that the county did not tell us to stop at, and they fall off the bus, you and us are completely liable, and the county would not be. So just be aware of that you're taking on a huge amount of liability if you're doing extra stops that are not supposed to be on there.
Extra work in general, the team leads have been giving you all forms for extra work. Please fill those forms out and get them back to your team leads and they get them to me. I'm trying to divide the different trips up as evenly as possible so that the same people aren't getting, all the trips. So. Okay, that's it for me.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Kent Wilson. I'm the shop manager, head mechanic.
Hey, Ken,
All right, Ken.
you gotta come this way. You gotta be on camera.
Wait, fruit. Dee is still my shop assistant, even though she's the operations manager. She's doing both, and Keisha has been helping us with a lot of the paperwork. I want to introduce the mechanics. Stand up, please. We got Shaggy, AKA Paul. Moto Corey. And our newest apprentice, Sean. He's a hybrid. He's working in the shop and doing bus aiding. For as long as I've been here, we've never had a year running as smoothly as this is. And I think it has a lot to do with the team leads. We're getting buses washed on time. We're getting a lot of stuff done, taking a lot of pressure off of us managers. But we appreciate the job that you're doing. And we appreciate you guys respecting and going through the team leaders. The parking lot safety is one thing I wanted to add to that. If you don't have a car and your ride is coming to get you, please tell them how to go in the yard. Don't speed through the yard. And if something does happen, you're going to be held accountable for what that person does. With spring coming up, the shop doors might be open. Please don't wander into the shop or bother mechanics while they're working. We're doing brakes, 30,000 pounds in the air with no wheels on it. It's kind of scary. So
And Kent,
it's also a distraction to them. So please don't distract them while they're doing the brakes. It's pretty important.
going back to the step was talking about, direction, which way to go. What about the people, the delivery people, whenever they come flying in here?
Yeah, they do.
So is there some way that,
We have most of them trained, like our regular delivery people, but UPS, FedEx,
cause they come flying down here. and
well,
it's like,
UPS and FedEx are the most dangerous drivers out there.
You say that.
They train everybody.
Some of them.
And food delivery.
If your is in the shop and you need something out of it, don't just come in, you need to go into the office and the manager will bring you out here and make sure you're safe and everything else. So, I'm gonna try to let you guys know in groups when we start doing the breaks that we're gonna pull your bus that week. Most of the special needs buses, the brakes will be done on spring break because of the wheelchairs and safety seats and such. Please, even for the old drivers, because the bus might be new to you, please know your bus. The temperatures are changing, okay? Some of the new drivers may not have experienced this, but you can hear the fans kick on these buses. It's pretty obvious. So if your temperature's going up or something and you're having a problem and you call in, we're gonna ask you what your temperature is. Is your fan coming on? We're gonna ask you certain questions. So please be knowledgeable about your bus. We have all the manuals in here on the desk. If you want to, you can take it and read it. Please put it back when you're done. If you have any questions, see one of us. Greg, Mike, Marty, they all know the buses pretty well. Crystal's
I'm
been
getting there,
driving the
I'm
bus.
getting there.
But even for seasoned drivers and mechanics, this emission stuff is new. And they're changing it faster than they're keeping it, the training. So just be aware of what little lights mean. A lot of them don't mean anything to you, but they'll mean something to me, so you can write it on your sheet. If you're not sure, you still need to call in. Fueling, okay? She raised the question, We have a fueling procedure. If everyone is filling up every day, when the fuel pump went down, you could say, you know what? I don't really need fuel this day. I'm just gonna tell my team lead, hey, there was a long line, right? Fuel pumps were down. Don't need fuel right now. That would have solved a lot of the problems. Field trips, same way. If you're fueling every other day, we really don't go far enough to use a full tank of fuel, right? So if everybody's doing it every other day, some buses, like Eric, he might do it more than every day because he has extremely long runs. So that's very important to do that. And I've been auditing. I don't know if you're not an offender, you wouldn't notice. I do have some people that's every once in a while, so I'm not trying to be too strict about it. But it goes in the same thing. If you're fueling every other day, you only take 20 gallons. If you're waiting a whole week, you're 60 gallons. So the person behind you that's following the rules is waiting and waiting and waiting because you're taking a long time to fuel that up. So it also helps with the amount of time that everybody's at the fuel. 100 buses and 2 pumps. That's why we do it every other day. If you get in a spare bus and you do need fuel, and it's a blue bus and it's a red day, you can still get fuel. With spring coming up and people running air conditioner, the next audit we're gonna be doing is idle time. The computers tell us how long the bus idles every day. It accumulates, goes it over every month. So there's several reasons for the 5-minute idle time rule. For one is the new emission systems. They can't handle the bus just sitting there idling. It's real bad for them. They get clogged up and it causes a lot of problems. And
be fined.
we can be fined large amounts of money if you get caught idling excessively. Just be aware of that. Spring is in the air. I love spring. I hate the winter. I'm glad it's over. We're going to be doing a spring cleanup in the yard. It's on a volunteer basis. It's going to be April 18th. So what we do is we go around the yard, we pick up trash, we plant flowers, we notice certain things, you know, that might need repair, a hole in the parking lot, stuff like that. So it's a good time, we all usually enjoy it, and then we have a lunch after. We're gonna have a sign-up sheet on the board, if you wanna join us. You said it's a volunteer basis, but I enjoy it, yes ma'am.
Is it gonna be volunteer like it's always been?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Miss Sherry had a question for you guys. Miss Sherry had a
Oh,
question.
no, we just need a new stick because someone, you know,
She's entered your
the
camp.
manual stick to put the lift down, our stick is bent.
Did you write that up?
Can you write it on the
I
bottom?
believe that it's written up already.
I'll write that down.
What
'cause
bus
I
is
don't
that?
remember
What bus
seeing it.
number is that, Sherry?
267. And we pulled it out.
You know what, this is the prime example. Mark caught me in the office one evening, and he said, "Hey Kent, the stick on my lift is messed up." And I said, "All right." I forgot all about it, because I've never seen the write-up. That's why I asked you to write it up, because I'm doing something, I'm not gonna remember. I am not gonna remember. Sorry, call you out, Mark, wherever you're sitting.
He's hiding. He's over there hiding.
Thanks for making me aware. Okay, write-ups. Spring is coming. If you drive an AC bus, please check it now. Don't wait till that hot day, because we got one machine and 100 buses. Each bus takes approximately 2 hours to fully service the air conditioner. We do that on a regular basis, but if yours isn't working, check it now. There's forms in the office, the same form for heaters, for air conditioning too. Please write the specific problem that you're having so we can take care of it before it's an issue. The next topic coming up is employee parking. I would have loved to have that done by now and given out your assigned spots today, but we didn't get that done.
That's not gonna work anyway.
What's that?
We're also crooked. That's not gonna work at all.
We're having a lot of safety problems in the yard. We have problems with people taking up 2 parking spaces. When you come in every day and you have no idea where you park, it messes up your whole routine, right? Getting to your bus, if you're assigned to a spot, you know exactly which way to go to your bus, how to get to the building to get your stuff, how to get back to the bus. That's gonna cut down on a lot of safety issues. It's gonna cut down on a lot of bickering. Spring's coming up, we got a lot of extra employees coming in the afternoons to do extra trips. So everybody needs a spot to park. So we can't please everybody. We're trying to get you as close as you can to your buses. There may be some issues, okay? So if there's an issue, let your team lead know. We'll try to get it discussed and get it resolved as soon as possible. So we'd like to get this done by April 1st. So just be aware, it's gonna take probably a week to get it rolled out and get everybody organized. But it's just like it used to be when I started here and the buses could park anywhere they wanted. It was chaotic, very chaotic.
And to Shelley's point, if you're parking in the same spot every day, you're more likely to probably park correctly if there's an issue with parking, so.
And if you really love your car, like a lot of you do, the person next to you, you're gonna know who it is. So be respectful. If we need to, we'll park all the nice together and all the nice cars together, and then make sure that they don't hit the other. Now, all the team leads have agreed to be the ones to park back in the gravel, so that all you guys will be on pavement.
Josh said I didn't agree.
Josh was outnumbered and outvoted.
Demetria has her hand up.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
While you're on parking, you have a lot of these drivers that just came in that we don't have vehicle information for.
Oh, yeah.
Put that out for them to get with their team lead so they can get that information?
Yes, we're trying to get that into the new hire packet,
It
into
is.
the
It's in
introduction
the,
packet.
it's in the application.
Recently?
Yeah.
With the new ones that just came on board? Okay, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Nighttime parking, I always had trouble finding, but Greg is the one that taught me. Look at the bottom left driver's mirror and follow that yellow line. Don't look at the right side, because I saw two buses, and I know there's only one bus, because it was like double vision. So he taught me to look at the left side bottom and follow that, and you can't go wrong parking your bus. A lot of people didn't know that.
Yes, ma'am.
Would you also remind the trainees that come, I guess, like after our runs and before our afternoon? It's been happening a lot recently. They're here training to get their license and they park in our spots. And special ed runs do not have the same routine times. We'll come back and they're in our spots and we have nowhere to go. And then we're taking other people's.
We're going to have a special assigned parking for the trainees.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Like visitors. Yes, sir.
We're gonna have visitors parking as well, so.
Put them in the back too.
I think we also have to let some drivers know that when they're pulling up their spots, it is enough space, even with the double parking, for them to come out and not be so close to vehicles that's parked back there. Because you got bus drivers that's pulling all the way out to cars and then cutting their wheel and then going up the turn. And maybe one day, something may happen and that bus don't stop. It's gonna hit that car.
I was contemplating building a turn lane so that when you pull out, that'll be the spot where you can turn and not worry about your tail swing.
Right.
I gotta make sure it works first, but that's probably gonna be something that's gonna have to wait till the summer.
It's probably not big enough for these cars.
Huh?
It's probably not, the parking lot is not big enough for these cars.
Exactly.
It is. Huh? We can't stretch it out.
Somebody made a suggestion that all big trucks should park in the back, which is smaller cars.
Yeah, we got a plan for it. There's gonna be some changes that need to be done, but
Nobody's gonna be happy. No.
everybody's gonna be happy. Go ahead, Sony. All right, guys.
There a way that back there where you have where cars are parking at? You know how we have to back our bus up and some people park their cars back there? Is there a way that we can put some cones there so that way they'll know not to pull too far up so when we're coming back in, we won't hit nobody's car?
With that assigned parking, you won't have to worry about that.
Good job, Ken.
The last thing I want to talk about,
All right.
y'all, especially for the new people, we have a fund here, Lonergan. It's a memory of a good friend of mine, Wardell Weems. What this fund does is all the employees, as many as we can, contribute to a fund. If one of our employees has an issue, can't pay their electric bill, car broke down, things like that, things happen. And it's always best if we support each other. So even if you give $1 to this fund every 2 weeks out of the paycheck, that's helping and that's helping someone. So, where's Skip?
Over there behind.
Skip has forms, if anybody wants to sign up. Also, with the economy going bad, you could raise your contribution if you want to. I think I need to look at raising mine. So, like I said, even $1 can help someone, so. All right, I appreciate all of you. Let's have a great spring.
Chairman has a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm part-time, and I'm still having an ongoing problem with people's sheets, their route sheets. He was with me this morning,
it says make a left or right into the school on the left. If you're sending down roads that are supposed to be on the right and they're on the left, it doesn't make sense that this late into the year, these sheets are still not right.
Yeah, I'll tack on to that. So, one of the big parts of the team leads being put in place was maintaining the routes. But that's only as good as the driver telling them that the route sheet's not accurate. So please, when they put out, there been any changes to your route, is the route sheet accurate? Please actually look at it, don't just glance at it. Look at it and make sure that the route sheet reflects what you're actually doing. And I think that's the big thing. You might find a shortcut, a better way of doing something that gets you to a school on time. We're totally okay with that. Can't add unauthorized stops, but you can definitely change how the route is done, as long as it doesn't change the times either of the stops. So if you find a better way to do something, put that on the route sheet. Because the last thing a sub wants to hear while they're driving down the road is, you're going the wrong way, you didn't make the turn, or whatever. When you're heading to the same place, but they might not realize that it's the same, you're going to go to the same place, thinking that you're going the wrong way, and then you're going the wrong way, you think. So just, if you could, I can mimic that request, is to please look at the route sheet and make sure it's accurate, lefts and rights, all that stuff. So. All right, Crystal's up.
Okay, everyone, I'm Marty as well today. Thank you to the team leads, awesome job, and a thank you to everyone. You guys are doing amazing, and just keep it up, and again, we appreciate it. For checking in, you guys are doing a good job. Keep it up, drivers and aides. That's a big help. We know you're here. Appreciate it. Keep that up. Oh, big one. If you're going to be late and or out, please call the main line, option 9. If you want to call a friend, tell a skip. After that, please do that first. And call out each day, unless you have a set number of days that you are indeed going to be out, and we are aware of it. Oh, what else? My little cubicle. Reminder, it is my cubicle. Please do not take anything from it, leave anything there. If you need something, you all know, I share.
Somebody's behind you.
Oh, here, come on out. So yeah, that's all I have for right now. Thank you.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Good morning. So if you have a repair order, we know that they have to go into the separate box. I can't tell you how many times I'm getting repair orders that are in the regular driver's sheet box, and then it's not getting done till late. I mean, sometimes I don't get done payroll till 5 o'clock. I'll be honest, I'm busy. So if we can, please put it in the proper box. I try to get that one first. I try to get that one done as early as possible for Ken, although I didn't do well yesterday. All right, accidents versus incidents. An incident would be something like nothing that the county wants to hear about, but we still have to give them the option of hearing about it. So I'm going to use Lorraine as a for instance. She had a mirror-to-mirror slight contact with a BG&E truck. It's not my call to say that we don't have to have somebody out for that. It's the county's. So no matter what, you need to call into the office, and then we can follow the proper procedure. If she had just gone on her route, like, I know there was no damage, but it's not our call, right? County has to call that. So just keep that in mind. Also, that you can only turn that accident sheet in. It has to be within 24 hours. So if it happened yesterday afternoon, it needs to be in to me as soon as possible, because I have to send it up to them. And if they don't have it, yes, they do call. Yes, they do email. And they get a little freaky, actually. All right. Freaky. Yeah. Yeah. They're like, we need it now. Anyways, okay. So if you guys are doing special trips, and I know that we talked about it before, but the more detail that you put on the sheet, the better I'm gonna know what you're getting paid for. And I don't want to slate anybody on their paychecks. That doesn't make me happy. I know you guys sometimes think I pick on you. I really don't. But if you have midday, please put it in the midday. If you did something unusual, just write in what you did, like South River to Old Mill. I'm good with that. I can find it in dispatch. I can see where it was. I can't tell you how much time I spend looking up what you guys did extra. And sometimes I still don't know. And I usually go to one of them and go, eh? So, and know that if you have something that's extremely long on a day, I'm always usually taking it to Greg or Mike to approve. This is not something I just decided, oh, you get 2 hours for that. It's not, I don't decide that. I just follow directions. Okay? Yeah.
Where do you put for this meeting?
You guys can put it on the driver sheet, or you can take an attendance sheet and you can just put it in your whatever you are. This is kind of separate. Or you can put this one specifically in my mailbox. But don't take your driver sheets or for your route sheets and put them in my mailbox. That's how things are going to get lost, right? I mean,
That's how things got lost.
they do. Sometimes if you guys are missing a timesheet and I'm writing you a note in your mailbox, that's somebody who turns in their sheet every day, and I have noticed that you don't have one for the 27th. I've gone and looked in Bus Hive. You weren't absent. So I'm writing you a note saying, hey, I don't have this. Now, why I don't have it, I don't know. It could have fallen between something. It could have not been turned in. Somebody could have taken it out. I don't know. That's why they're locked now. So, and it's just chain of custody is me.
Good.
If you're missing something, I'm writing you a note.
That's
If
good.
you don't turn in your timesheets a week or two at a time, don't do that. You're actually gonna mess yourself up, and you're probably gonna wind up missing a paycheck. And then you're gonna go to Mike and say, I didn't turn my timesheets on time. I need my pay though. And he's gonna be like, well, why didn't you do it? It's not that hard. Even if you do it every other day, at least then I know when you're missing something.
Yeah, but not at a week at a time.
No, a week at a time is not gonna work. If you guys mess up and you don't turn it in, and Mike ran payroll on Monday, and you just worked that week, guess what? It's not in there. I'm not coming in at 2 o'clock in the morning to do timesheets, people. I'm just not. I mean, and I don't come in till 9, so he could have ran payroll, and it's done, and now I get your timesheet. That doesn't work. You need to turn them in every day, or at least every other day. Okay. I've had a lot of people ask me about Lonergan's gear. If I get enough people, I will bring that in and try and do another order.
Yeah.
It can't be just like, oh, I want one t-shirt. No, it has to be enough that it makes an order.
Well, I need shorts for each day, I need pants for each day, I need a
But know that it's gonna cost you. And I can, hey, if you want more than just t-shirts and polo shirts and jackets, tell me. I'm sure I can talk to Alice's better half or other half.
Does he have a catalog?
He does, but we can't do it like that. You can't piecemeal this, or else the cost is outrageous.
Yeah. No, just to look to see what he has.
Can they,
But you guys, if you want something specific, come to me and talk to me. I'm not gonna give out a catalog and let every single one of you guys order something. That is not cost effective.
can they give bus lead people all the same shirts?
Like a sleeveless shirt. I'd also remember it's gotta adhere to county guidelines too.
Because sometimes you'll be exposing your bra strap. Or your arm.
Can the bus lead people have special shirts to wear to stand out?
No, we're trying not to do that.
Indeed, they
If you
do.
guys don't know who your team lead is by now, come ask me. I will be happy to tell you. And also, know that you gotta go to them first. If you come to me with a time and mileage sheet, no offense, but I haven't driven a bus. I gotta go ask Greg or somebody else. Because I'm not, I actually said to him, can I have a lesson in this? Because they're coming to me. And said, if you have an activity running, you're doing the time and mileage sheet, you need to do the time and mileage sheet on the day that you do the activity bus. What do you need?
There's a team lead assignment sheet on the workforce.
Yeah, but that would require people to actually go and look and find something and do it on their own, and they're not gonna do that. They're gonna ask me, and I'm gonna go, I don't know, it looks pretty simple.
Somebody said about the information board out there that they should draw a line down the middle, old news and new news, because people
No.
are not caring what's on
No,
that.
you need to look at that every day, and you need to check your mailboxes. I'm gonna be honest, we're gonna change the mailboxes around, and they're gonna be in alphabetical order. And if you guys have a stack of mail in there, and I know a couple guilty people, because I looked at him yesterday, you need to take it out, right, Corey? Like yours is like that thick, but you need to take it out. That is not, it's not storage for you guys. I mean, I know that, you got a lot of paperwork. I get it, because you turn in a timesheet, you gotta save it. But let's get some organization here. We're gonna change them all around, because the people that actually need to find them, it's ridiculous how long we're standing there going. All right, so this has been working really well. People that want to know how much money is in their, how many hours they have, make sure they're right. Like, a lot of people are emailing me, and that's great, because when I have a minute, I will look it up. I am really good on email. Half the time I answer people, even at night when I'm at home, because I get it on my phone. Obviously, I can't do payroll there, but if you guys want to know what your hours are, shoot me an email. I will absolutely tell you, and then if there's an issue with it, I'll be like, hey, come see me. I think we need to talk about it if you're thinking it's this. Or I will actually tell you, on Monday the 22nd, you had 6 hours. On Tuesday, I literally do that. And it's not a problem, but when I have 5 people waiting, I know that you guys are getting mad. It's first come, first serve. I don't have an appointment calendar. But if you send me an email, I promise you I'll answer you.
Can you give out your email?
Oh yeah, I'll write it. I'll tape it up right on the mailbox. jtaylor@lcsbuspros.com.
Isn't it in the notebook we got in the beginning of the year?
Probably. If it's
Well,
not,
look, everybody's in.
I'm happy to give it to
Everybody's phone
you.
number too.
Oh, okay. When we're turning in for absences, you have a doctor's appointment tomorrow morning at 9. I'm pretty sure.
10:15.
I'm pretty sure that you knew about that way before, the afternoon before.
Sure.
And that's hard on dispatch, because now they're struggling to find somebody. And if I have 10 people to do that, that's a real problem. I mean, we only have so many subs, right? So turn in your time, and I will mark it not approved. And I'll tell you why. If you turn it in the day before and it's not something that was an emergency situation, I'm gonna write on there, not approved, not enough notice. If you ask me how much time you have on vacation, I want vacation for spring break, you've checked vacation, and you put in there spring break, and I will probably write on the back of it exactly how much vacation you have used on what days and for what. Whether it was sick day, the snow day, whatever. I'm pretty thorough in that, so feel free to do that, and they all go to my box. They don't go to Mike or Crystal or Skip. They all come to me, because they're just gonna bring them to me anyway, so just stick them in my mailbox. Yeah.
What are the consequences and or protocol of a not approved, time off?
So you're still obviously going to take and make the doctor's appointment that you scheduled. I mean, I get it. You made a doctor's appointment. I see my doctor regularly too. But we want to try to schedule these in between your route, even for bus aids. You can also schedule them for spring break when you guys are off. If it's something that has to happen, it's something that has to happen. I understand that. At this point, I will talk to Greg and Mike about what they want to do with people that consistently do this. I would like at least a week's notice. I mean, even at a week though, dispatch has already put out your schedules, right? You got a text today, said, hey, check your mailbox for your schedules.
Yep.
Well, that's because you're an attendant.
I didn't say that.
No, I was talking to Michelle, sorry. Good to her. I wasn't I promise. That wasn't directed.
But most of us get a 3-hour break, and normally doctors will work around you because I make them work. They work for me. I
Not
work
some
for
of
them.
them, Ruthie.
Doctors work for you.
And it's not approved, and they still can't take off, they call out.
Yeah. I mean, look, if you wrote that, I try to do them first thing in the morning, and I try to get them all done. I will tell you that as the day goes on, there's more. But if you're telling me after your run and you've come in and it's 4:30 and you're giving me, I'm gonna be out tomorrow, I may have not even put it in there yet. I mean, honestly, it depends on how busy I am and what I'm doing. So, yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, if it's less than a week's notice, like if it's within a day or two, we always ask that you verbally tell somebody, tell a manager, and then also fill out the sheet.
Yep.
So that way we can get it in dispatch.
Daniel.
Hey, while we're talking about time, I'd like to bring up the fact that, is there anything in the works about revising the leave policies? Because we have nothing in there about bereavement leave. I recently had a loss, and I was out. I was sick, you know, anytime I call out, I provide my medical documentation, everything. When I was sick with the flu over a week, I used all that leave, you know? Then
You are
it's-
allowed to ask specifically if you've used all your sick time and it has been for a genuine reason, like what you're talking about. You can always come to me and I can ask for a special exemption for you. It has happened before, but it's not normal. So if we allow you guys all to have 40 hours of sick time. So if you call out and you want sick time, please write on there sick time for day off, day out. Because sometimes I look at it and I'm like, it's time off. They were out for it. Okay, I think it's sick time they're asking for.
Is that separate from the vacation time?
So it's built into your vacation time.
Okay, so it's the same.
You're using your vacation time.
Okay.
Okay?
But don't you supposed to have documentation to support that though?
Yes, if you actually want to use for sick time, I really require a doctor's note for it. I mean, that's really the rule.
One other thing, while I was out, I just wanted to say, I wanted to give a shout out to my work leader, Dina. You know, seriously, she went above and beyond on what she should have done.
Dina went above and beyond what she should have done because he was out with the flu. And honestly, every single one of them do that.
Yes, they
So
do.
if you're out and you're out all the time, your team lead's the one that's taking it up. They're pulling your slack.
But
For
mainly,
the flu and for.
Bereavement, right.
But she reached out to me in there every day, to see how it's going.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to say she does go above and beyond.
She does.
She should have been
That's
recognized.
Dina for you.
thank you, Dan. Thank you.
Yay, Dina. She also comes and helps me.
She helps everybody.
She really helps me. We're not so backed up now on files. Does anybody else have any questions? Okay, close out.
All right, well, thank you all for being here. Thank you for everything you do every day. Yeah, what? Hold on. Oh, team leads want to say something real quick. Hold on.
Hey, wait a minute.
Hold on 1 second.
Sorry, real fast, 2 seconds. First of all, thank everybody for doing everything they're supposed to do and listening to us and bearing with us. 1, 2, please update your route. If you want to copy your route just to see what it looked like, please give it to team lead so we can do that. 3, I heard about something about schools not giving out names for seating charts. The county wants a seating chart on every bus.
Yep.
If the school is not giving you names for a seating chart, get with your team lead ASAP. That's it.
Thank you.
One more thing. In the event that they don't know that you do something normally after your regular route, let me know if you're on my team so I can inform them so they can have coverage for it.